You're listening to all of it on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. We conclude our art hour with a new art fair in Brooklyn debuting this spring. It's called Conductor, Art Fair of the Global Majority, hosted by Powerhouse Arts in Gowanus, Brooklyn. The fair presents individual artists and galleries across the globe, artists from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and more who represent most of the world's population. It's the latest from Powerhouse Arts, which started in 2023 in a Brooklyn power station and has the hopes to be a place for performances and large-scale exhibitions. Conductor Art Fair of the Global Majority is from this Thursday, April 30th through Sunday, May 3rd. Eric Shiner, the president of the host organization, Powerhouse Arts, joins us now to give us a preview. Eric, welcome to all of it.
Thanks so much for having me, Allison. How are you?
I'm doing well. Tell people about Powerhouse Arts for those who haven't heard of it.
We are an absolutely massive former factory located right in the heart of Gowanus, the former industrial hub of New York City that has, taken a power plant, reimagined it as a factory of art and ideas. And we inhabit 170,000 square feet.
Wow.
Beautiful space designed by the great Swiss architects Herzog and Demeron. And we play host to fabrication workshops, exhibition spaces, and so much more.
What was behind Conductor Art Fair of the Global Majority? What was the idea behind it?
As a nonprofit, we're always looking for creative ways not only to support artists in a 360-degree way, but of course, how to help pay our bills. And we realized that the art fair model right now, as it stands, is very heavily commercial. And we thought, we could maybe rethink it. And how does an art fair actually come to serve artists and artists from around the world? So Adriana Ferrietta, who was the deputy director of the Armory Show, approached me with this idea of, could we build something that would really support artists and small to medium-sized galleries in global majority regions of the world so that we could provide them entree to the epicenter of the art world here in New York City. And that's how it was birthed.
How many people are going to participate? How many galleries?
We have 28 galleries coming from all corners of the globe and 17 artists who are self-representing in our special projects section. So we have all of our areas covered, and I think it is going to be really a wonderful medley of voices from all areas of the world.
Where did you look to find individuals to feature in the show?
Adriana and I split it up and went to art fairs in, all of these regions that we're looking to cover. And we just got to know folks that we'd never met before, in addition to asking folks that we've known throughout our careers to come and participate. And we're really excited by how thrilled everyone was to say yes, despite everything going on in the global political sphere right now.
Where are these artists in terms of their careers?
That's the wonderful thing about this fair. It will bring those that are just emerging, just starting off their careers, mid-career artists, and artists that have been in the game for decades. So it's going to be really a conversation amongst generations. And that's what we're most excited about, to see artists really that, are representing the broad swath of what the art world really is.
Eric, are there themes that you can point to in the fair?
It's not so much based on themes, but what we really wanted to hit was, a true idea of pluralism and globalism, and also to feature artists that are questioning the status quo. So there's a through line of radicality in a lot of the projects that will be featured. And certainly we feel now is the time to really amplify radical voices.
And there's a conversation series that's going to happen as well. Tell me about that.
100%. And we are hitting so many different areas. We're doing one panel about what collecting artists from the global majority means for US-based collectors and how to do so both ethically and with impact. That will feature great collectors like Komal Shah and Dana Faruqi, and we'll also have Noah Horowitz, who's the global head of Art Basel, participating on that panel. We're also talking about things like placemaking and how architecture plays out in these regions of the world. So we hope that the academic rigor that we're bringing to these lectures will be as appealing to our audience as the wonderful work that will be on display as well.
From April 29th to May 3rd, Powerhouse Arts will host Conductor, Art Fair of the Global Majority, an art show spotlighting artists and galleries across the world from Africa, Latin America, Asia, the Middle East, indigenous nations. Eric Shiner, president of Powerhouse Arts, is joining me to preview the art fair. I mentioned all these different places that artists are coming from, but there are some galleries that are here in New York on the Lower East Side. Proxico?
Yep.
Tell me why Proxico felt like a good fit for the show.
They were such a perfect fit because they are known not only for representing wonderful artists from Latin America, but they've really become a place of discovery, a place where a collector can go and find not only the new and the radical, but also artists that have been in the game for a long time. And they've really become known as that type of gallery where you can go learn about an artist that you maybe never heard of and realize how important their work is to the conversation.
Proxico is exhibiting Colombian artist Pablo Gomez Uribe, whose work, I think his work is based, he's an architect or studies architecture to a degree. Tell us a little bit more about his work.
It is very much based in architecture and how architecture and public space become canvases. And he hones in very specifically on graffiti and graffiti that has been erased by civic organizations that have deemed graffiti to be a nuisance, something that is a blight on the landscape. He actually records the ghost images of graffiti that has been erased and creates beautiful, beautiful works that are, somewhat abstract as a result. But we're very excited because our grand hall where the fair will be is actually covered with the original graffiti that was left behind by the squatter artist who lived in this building in the 90s and the early 2000s. So I can't wait to see the dialogue that happens between his work and our very real, very extant graffiti that is still here.
That sounds so cool.
It is a very cool space. And, we wanted to make sure that all of the ghosts of this place survived the renovation of this project. So it actually creates an authentic environment that is literally surrounded by art and something that's so central to the aesthetics of New York, graffiti.
Let's talk about O Art Space. It brings together 3 generations of Pakistani artists. What glimpse does this display offer us in view of Pakistani history?
Well, they're hitting 3 different generations who are approaching art making in such radically different ways. The young artists are, of course, very interested in technology and digital art, and the work that's included will, be very centered in that. Whereas the oldest generation of artists are really focused on traditional art making techniques in Pakistan. And the dialogue that will resonate between the 3 levels of generations, I think, will be really resounding. And obviously, to feature artists from Pakistan right now, which is so on the global stage, is a site of right now political negotiations between the US and Iran. Pakistan itself, of course, is the gateway between South Asia and the Middle East. It has always been a place that is very rife with globalism and international exchange, and these artists are definitely going to be showing us how.
I have to ask you about car trunk karaoke.
Yes, you do.
Can people engage with this exhibit?
They absolutely can. And I engaged with it when I went to see Trong's show at his gallery in Paris a couple of months ago for his solo exhibition opening at Bao Gallery that he works with in Paris. And Trong is an old friend. He used to live here in New York, now lives in Belgium, but he has devised an interactive artwork with a commercially available karaoke machine. So the audience can pick up a mic, and instead of singing, you will have to recite global news headlines from mainstream news networks. It might be a little bit difficult for some people to reread the headlines that are
Yes.
blaring out in the world right now, which obviously are centered in rather dark topics. But we hope that there will be an element of absurdity to it as well that allows one to have fun in so doing.
And I wanted to ask you about Edris Soto. She's been on this show. She's a Puerto Rican born artist. What do you find interesting about her work?
I love her work, and we're going to be featuring a series of wall sculptures that are based on the decorative motifs found in railings, on stoops, porches, civic buildings across Puerto Rico. And they have flourishes and swirls, and she's really focusing in on something that is so omnipresent in the physical landscape of Puerto Rico, but analyzing it and rethinking it. So it becomes much more than an architectural flourish on the front stoop of your house, and all of a sudden becomes an abstract form. And for her, these objects really stand as the portal between public and private, between interior and exterior. They're at thresholds. So she's really forcing the viewer to think about what that specific image means as you navigate from one space into another. And they're just beautiful sculptures in and of themselves.
How do you hope the Conductor Art Fair continues to grow in the coming years?
We really hope that it will, develop into a fully fledged boutique size art fair. So, one day 50 or 60 artists and galleries from around the world. And, we feel right now it's so important to promote international dialogue and exchange in a world where that has become, at least from the administration standpoint, not only less important, but maybe not important at all. And we certainly hope that by bringing artists from all over the world to engage in dialogue, not only with our audiences in New York, but with each other, we really strengthen cultural exchange and know that artists are always hopefully the ones that will lead us out of a dark place into something that looks like a brighter future.
The name of the art fair is Conductor Art Fair of the Global Majority. It's an art show spotlighting artists and galleries from across the globe. From across the galaxy. My guest has been Eric Shiner, president of Powerhouse Arts. Have a terrific art fair.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And that is all of it. I'm Allison Stewart. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you. We'll be meeting back here tomorrow to talk about Earth Day.